Oh, shit. Having trouble connecting. Please check your internet. Bugger. Bugger.
I mean, the best thing to do is go on the app and reset both the router and the dish.
I haven't got time. I've got to go live now.
On your phone, on 4G.
I've been live for a few seconds and I didn't know it because I'm having trouble with my internet. So let me just click go live on Instagram for a second. Oh, I am live. If it fails and it breaks down, sorry about that. Sorry. Here we are again then, folks. We are on day 5. And today we're going to be looking at understanding the natural wear and tear of hooves. I'm Lindsay Setchell. Thank you for joining me. I'm trying to be better and go quicker. But every live I've done so far has basically not been very fast. So far, we've covered some foundational topics in hoof care, haven't we? We've included the importance of balance. If you didn't see my It's Not Rocket Science lesson that I put out yesterday on dorsopalmar balance, please go and have a look. It's uploaded to YouTube on my YouTube account. Lots of people have already viewed it and are enjoying it. We've looked at anatomy, the importance of anatomy and understanding it. And we're just looking at the basics at the moment. We're not going mad. We're not going deep down. We can't really anyway in these short lives. And we've looked at why the barefoot approach is obviously going to be better for the horse in terms of their hoof mechanism, etc., than the shod approach, or by fixing some appliance onto the horse's foot. So today we're going to look at another interesting topic, which is understanding the natural wear and tear of hooves, because hooves have, all horses' hooves have usually a particular shape. And some horses have slightly different pillars, what we call pillars of support, than others, but they all have very specific dorsopalmar balance, which we talked about in the It's Not Rocket Science lesson, very specific wear patterns, very specifically also, they have natural arches, which we're going to look at in a moment, in their quarters. But before we start, I'm going to say hello to you. And also don't forget to show me or comment, and you can put photos up. You can do all sorts of things in these comments, can't you? We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and I will go in afterwards and I will check, and so will the team. Will go in and have a look. But let's go and have a quick scan on, oh my goodness, there's so many of you already. I'm going to whiz through you. Shannon Shipper's here. Hello from Northern Alberta. Stella's here. Good morning. It's 2 a.m. What are you doing, Stella, in Australia? Uta's here. Good evening from Germany. Good evening. Ulrika's here. Bonsoir from France. Britannia in France. Gail's here. Hello from sunny but cold Minnesota. It's not so frigid today. Catherine Brown's here. Hello, Catherine. Jeanette Desar's here. Bonsoir. Uta, where in Germany? I was born and raised near Munich. Do you know something? I could have guessed with a name like Ulrika. Caroline Schillig's here. Hi, everyone. Another great topic coming up. It is Georgie's here. Hi, everyone. Monica's here. Hello from Czech. Hello. Heather Swithenbank. Hi, everyone. Kelly Moore. Hi. Pia's here. Hello. Lydia's here. Hello from Canada. Dawn Lim. Hi, one and all. Melanie's here from Pennsylvania. Hello, everybody. Happy weekend. Angela's here. Hello, all. Connie's here. Goodness me. Wendy Brown. Evening from a soggy Cornwall. Hi, Wendy. It's good to see you. Carol Colbert's here from Australia. Fiona Francis from Canada. Hi, everyone. Gary's here. Hiya, pal. Hi, Gary. It's good to see you, pal. Alison's here. Hi, I made it, she said. Jay, hello. First live. Well, we're diving in. Gosh, it takes so long to say hello, but I want to say hello to you. Hi, Sir Sarah. Hello. The mini lives, you mean? Yeah, right. Jill Truscott's here. Hello. Teresa's here. Fantastic. Julia's here. And we've got people. Hi, Julia. We've got people. We've got Sally Aston's joined. Esprit Libre. On Instagram, they're not the same, are they? You Can Beat Nature. Hey, lovely. Hello. So what were we saying? We were saying that it's really important that we not only know anatomy, we not only know why the barefoot approach is really important, but we need to also understand the natural wear and tear of horses' hooves, right? So what are the basics? Well, natural wear and tear really refers to the way a horse's hooves are shaped and they're maintained through movement, not really through us, not through trimming. We have to help them along the way because most domestic horses are not able to maintain their own shape and their own hooves. Many are, because the world is catching on now, and so horses are kept more naturally. Friends forage freedom. They're out there every day working their hooves and their bodies and getting close as we can to those horses that are not in the domesticated world, who don't have trimmers to trim their feet and rely on traveling long distances daily so that their hooves can wear down naturally to match their environment. And that's the whole ethos behind track systems and getting all that movement going. So why does it matter though to the horse? Well, it matters massively, because self-maintenance is going to show you, if you get a horse that's self-trimming, will show you how the hoof is designed to grow and wear down in harmony with its activities, with the horse's activities, the activity level and the terrain. It's important because when the horse is naturally wearing its feet properly, it will have proper balance and proper functionality. We talked about balance in the It's Not Rocket Science lesson. It will have the proper natural wear will maintain that balance, and it will support the hoof mechanism, which we always go on about at HM and the Phoenix Way. And that always ensures that the horse stays sound. And natural wear is going to allow that horse to be able to adapt to various terrains. I think that many owners in the domestic setting think that horses can only cope on a certain ground. And if you keep your horse on only a soft pasture all the time, then it might struggle when it goes out onto tougher terrains. What the beauty of being out in the wild is that they cover all kinds of terrains, don't they? From these softer fields and areas where they can expand these expanses, these softer expanses, down to the very incredible rocky trails that they have to go over. So when we understand about natural wear and how it works, we can then better care for our horses in the domestic setting because we can understand that natural wear. But in actual fact, you don't have to do, the secret is that you don't have to actually do a lot to allow the horse to find its natural foot and find natural wear. You don't have to do a great deal on the trim side of things. And like we said, we're not a method. People always say the HM method. We're not a method. It's a way. It's about diet. It's about management, and it's about movement. We want the horses to trim as much as possible their own feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. La, 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 la. Oh, come on. Here we go. And I'm going to show you. So we've gone through, here are some of the photos that we've gone through before. Today we're going to look at understanding natural wear and tear of hooves very quickly. I'm going to whiz through these. So understanding natural wear. I'm going to start by showing you what isn't natural. Okay, so if we look at what's not natural, you see all these arrows, they're pointing to problems in the hoof where these feet have not been able to naturally wear. If the trim that these horses undergo either leaves too much or takes away too much, that horse is going to suffer and not be able to naturally trim. So let's look at this one in the top left-hand corner. This is where the heels have been left too high. And if you look forward to the toe, you can't see the toe wall. It dips away. So this hoof capsule is going in the other direction to the horse's natural sole. And people do this all the time. They trim like this all the time. They leave too much heel and they take too much toe. And if you go and have a look at the It's Not Rocket Science lesson from yesterday, we discuss all that, because this is about balance. Look at this one on the top right here. You can see how much hoof has been removed. The horse would never do this naturally themselves with their own natural wear and tear. They'd never do this. It's only what the human does, because they don't understand. So you can see here, this horse is now been dumped onto its sole because the toe has been removed, and the surface area has been reduced. Always when people do this, they always are the sort of people that leave heels as well. And you can see these heels scoop up here. Look at this one here. This one has been unceremoniously hacked. I can tell you that a human being did do that to this horse. This wasn't just the horse breaking bits and bobs off. This human did do that to this one foot on this one horse, because they assumed that this one foot was laminitic. No horse would do that to itself naturally if allowed to have good natural balance. Now look at this one here. This is a classic NPA where the toe, vertical height of the toe, is far too much. Again, we cover that in the It's Not Rocket Science. So all of these horses are not balanced, and they're not naturally wearing and tearing their hooves. So let's look at these. When we take the shoe off a foot, in our cadaver trimming workshops, we take the shoe off and then we trim naturally. And usually these trims are not done by us. They're done by owners who are trimming for the first time in their lives, and they can still manage to create this. This shoe that was on this foot, and it's the same foot that the shoe belonged to, obviously didn't have this gap in there, which is the natural arch, which you can now see because the horse has been trimmed naturally. Now, we didn't scoop that arch out. The person who trimmed this didn't scoop the arch out. They just followed the horse's natural hard sole plane. So even though this horse had been shod for quite some time, it still had its natural foot in there. It just wasn't able to ever show it because it was flat to this flat shoe. And there's a whole, we'll cover a whole host of all things to do with nails and shoes and unnatural wear, etc. and in other lives. But look at this one. This is a shoe that has been put back onto this horse many months later. This is a living horse, and you can see that lovely natural arch that's there compared to that flat shoe that doesn't even fit anymore. And if we compare that to a natural foot, this is a foot in a domestic setting. You can again see that natural shaping, that lovely toe that's in place, the heels back to where they should be, not underrun. These are natural wear patterns. Just take a quick look at these two images. This is a cadaver foot before it's trimmed, as the shoe's been taken off. This horse is not able to naturally wear its foot. It's now unable to do that completely, but yet trimmed naturally, correctly to its own natural parameters, and it doesn't even look like the same foot. We've still got a bit of a ridge at the toe here, but given time, this horse would very quickly start to shape the foot that it needs. Here's another two. Look at this one. They don't even look like the same foot, but I can assure you they are. They are the same foot. You can't even recognize the frog in this one. And you can't even, you can see where you can't even see the front of the foot properly, the sole, and it's completely gone out of shape. And it's gone out of shape because it's unable to naturally wear its foot, because the trim that it started with was poor. And then when it carried on through its whatever it was doing, remember this is a cadaver hoof, it wasn't able to naturally trim down its feet because it was stuck. Its foot got stuck in being in the incorrect shape. And yet the foot on the right is the same foot. It's the same foot underneath all that crap. It's there. Now, these aren't just feet that are overgrown. They overgrown and unnaturally shape themselves. You can see that there are some little pink areas here. Remember, this is a cadaver foot where it's had pressure points, unnatural pressure points. So this horse was not naturally allowed to wear. Look at these feet here. This is a horse with a shoe on. It's completely flat. The foot is completely flat. There are no natural arches in there. You can see stress areas. My cat's trying to get in. You can see natural stress areas. These rings are indicating that too. Look at this one. This is a barefoot horse, not trimmed naturally. And you could say, well, it's overgrown. Yes, it is. It is overgrown. But the point is, this horse shouldn't have a foot like this when it's day to day. It should be able to trim its foot naturally, but it can't for various reasons. And so the trim prior to this foot being overgrown was allowing the horse to have hoof at the quarters, which is why it's cracking it off. And then we compare that with a hoof that is naturally trimmed every 6 weeks. And look at the difference. This horse maintains this foot every 6 weeks. It doesn't have to be, and it's walking around on all sorts of terrains. And then we compare that with a wild foot that's never had a human being touch it ever. And you can see how it has that gap there in the quarters. This is natural wear patterns. It almost looks honed like a pebble, doesn't it? These are natural wear patterns. So let's just stop sharing that for a minute. Let's come back to StreamYard. Where are we? Kelly Irwin's here. Hello, Kelly. Jenny Ackerstrom's here. Hello. Love to have the short trainings each day and the new It's Not Rocket Science. I told you you'd get fed up with me. Jeanette Desire says, I was guilty of leaving heels too high on the advice of my ex-trimmer until I found HM. And Alison says, you're far from alone in that, Jeanette. And you know something? We hear people say this all the time. Oh, the HM way, the HM method, the HM trim. We haven't got a method. Looking at those photos, I hope you can see the way that the horse creates its own natural arch by following the horse's natural hard sole plane. We haven't got a method. And if you think that you don't want to follow what we do, follow HM, then what are you following? Because we're following Mother Nature. So if you're not following us, you're not following Mother Nature. You're what we call PPT, which is personal preference trimming. So what factors are going to influence natural wear? What things are going to influence it? Well, the terrain that the horse is on, right? Horses on soft pastures, they're not going to experience the same natural wear, are they? And that's going to lead to overgrowth. And then when the person comes along and trims, are they going to trim properly down to the horse's natural parameters, or are they going to leave stuff or take stuff away, like those images that you saw earlier? While those that live on more tracky areas, so they've got difference between rocky or abrasive surfaces, they will have more naturally worn feet. So movement is key. If you've got a horse that's not moving very much, it could even be in shoes, it's put in a box a lot, and yet we're wanting to ask that horse to do all kinds of interesting things, to go out riding, perhaps to do competition, and yet they haven't, the foot that's on the bottom of their legs is not a naturally worn foot for that horse. We've obliterated all its natural wear patterns. We're not going to get optimum out of that horse. And maybe people don't even know what optimum is. So movement is really key as well. The hoof shape, it doesn't matter whether they're wide or narrower or longer. It doesn't matter. That horse will still have its own natural wear patterns. And if we ignore those by trimming to our ideals, then we're causing problems. Shod horses, when they're shod, they just don't experience that same natural wear. Of course they don't. The barefoot horses do. And it's important. They're stopping that foot from being able to respond to its environment. So it's really important. And then, of course, on top of all of that, the biggie is the diet and the management. Okay, so particularly the diet, because if you've got a poor diet, it's going to result in inflammatory issues. You've got a consistently wet or environment, or your horse is standing in a particularly boggy area all the time. This isn't going to be conducive to good hoof health. As long as they can get out and they can get onto drier parts, horses are okay in wet, mud, boggy, but they need to at times be able to get out onto drier areas. So understanding all of these factors is going to help you create an environment. And understand the hoof so that you can support that horse's natural wear patterns and natural health. Okay, so you need to encourage movement. You need to provide a varied terrain, regular trimming if your horse isn't maintaining their own trim, but also trimming to the horse's natural parameters, not your ideals, not PPT. And monitor the hoof health. You're getting good at this now. You're getting used to me saying this to you now. Monitor the hoof health. Look at it. Take photographs of it. Go away, study it. Don't rely on your hoof care professional giving you all that information. Even owners that have HMB pros, we encourage those owners to really look at their own horse's feet and understand diet. Make sure that you aren't overdoing it with the diet. So today's takeaway, because I always give you a takeaway, don't I? Natural wear and tear is absolutely vital. It's a vital process that's going to keep horses' hooves balanced, healthy, and functional. I know that our domestic horses aren't going to experience those same conditions that those horses that never get touched by human hand do. But we can try and recreate those environments. And even though if you're stuck at a livery yard, there's always stuff that you can do. There's always stuff that you can do to support natural hoof health and natural horse health, body health. So for today's mini challenge, go back and have another look at your horse's hooves and look at the surfaces that they're on. Put your horse's foot on a flat surface and get real down low and look at your horse from the side, really, really low. Take a photograph so you've got your camera on the ground. Does your horse look like they're exhibiting a natural arch? How far away from the trim was it? Can you experiment with adding different terrains or increasing movement? These are things that I know are very difficult for some owners, but are things that need to be whizzing around in your head the whole time. So thank you again, my lovelies. Thank you all. Who else have we got that's come on in? Sunshine says hello from Tennessee, USA on YouTube. Tara says after her 6th HSP trim, Amira's walls were staying at the HSP for 2 to 3 weeks. Proof the balance is slowly returning. Proof that Amira is now starting to self-trim properly. Exactly. Jane Hunt says watching. Hello, Jane. Fiona Francis said I had heels down, but was toe chopping. And so now when you know, you're like, oh, why would I take those natural wear patterns away from my horse, right? Melanie McCrow's here from Norfolk. Absolutely, Fiona says it makes so much more sense now. There's no guesswork. Oh, absolutely. Tara says the before trim should still be functional and look sexy too. Of course, it should be balanced. And if it isn't, then we know that there are some issues with what's been happening with that horse. So even a horse's foot pre-trim should be balanced. Anita says, howdy all, howdy. Emma Wade's here. What happens if a horse has conformation that causes uneven air? Is it okay to go against this and continue to follow HSP? Yeah, because even with uneven wear that we see, that horse will, if that horse is, for instance, leaning particularly on one side and the other side, the hoof wall is growing up a little bit more, then it's our job to make sure that that side stays down to the HSP. The HSP is king. All it's going to do is in uneven wear is allow other parts of the foot to grow up, which need to be kept down to the HSP. So don't despair. HSP is king. Trisha here. Hello. And Celia says, hello, we'll have to start at the beginning. How so late? It doesn't matter. So I'm going to see you tomorrow. Every day we do this, don't we? Thank you for joining me. If you found this session helpful, please like it, share it, tag a friend, subscribe on the YouTube channel. We're on Instagram, YouTube, we're on Facebook. Let's have a quick spin over to Instagram. M Bernard is here. ITX Heekmat has joined. They were there the other day. Academic Andalusia has joined. So there's loads of people joining on Instagram too. So until next time, okay, take care of yourself, obviously, and your horse. And remember that the Phoenix Way is all about us rising stronger together to change the standards in hoof care in the equine world. Because frankly, generally, they're not not enabling horses to naturally have their own natural foot, their own natural wear patterns. And it's so, so important for hoof health. So have a wonderful day, my lovelies, and I will see you again tomorrow. Good luck. Until then, bye-bye. Take care.